Creativity is an addiction. It's a pain in the butt. It's always in the way. In the way of it wakes you up at night. It's calling your name in the middle of the afternoon when you just want to I just want to sit back and relax a little bit. But that creativity inside of you is knocking on your heart. Come on, come on. And not only that, but there are people around you that are stealing your creativity. They're driving bigger and better cars. They have nicer houses than you. Oh, come on now. Yes, it is an addiction. Unplug, because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally Uncut, because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. I am a stream thinker. A stream thinker is somebody who uses the power of now in a way that can make a movement do its thing. You believe in the strength of courage and confidence, and you take from the universe of what is now, and you make it not necessarily right, but you make your voice heard. See, there's a daily practice that I do. Learning how to trust your free-form writing and speaking. My practice is 1 page, 10 minutes to write, absolutely no editing whatsoever. The perfectionist is not welcome here. It gives us plenty of time to talk about it in the end in a stream thinking way, because I believe that our decisions, our best ones, are made in the presence of now. And it's time to own your own leadership, the power of now. Today we're reading from March 12th, 2022. And if you could share your opinion, what would you say? That sounds like something my father would say. If you could just say something, what would you say? And the question is, how would you say it, and to whom are you trying to reach? In a world where there's too much being said, where do we actually fit in? Why do we think we have a voice in the first place? If you study the most recent protests in America, look at the number of people holding smartphones versus actually participating with the protest. Being present at such an event isn't the activation. To motivate a movement requires involvement. To use your voice, to put away the smartphone and become an influencer. Yes, there's a lot to be said about our current conditions, but to be vocally silent, that's not a place to be. You don't want to be known as the bystander. In the way of a deep message, don't just show up. The mission is to interrupt. Don't want to sound like my grandma Dobrins, but Don't just show up. The mission is to interrupt, to make yourself present. It doesn't have to be necessarily the right answer in that time period, but what you are given in your free form of thinking and doing could be the message that people pick up on. We all carry this tremendous amount of energy, but most of us don't know what to do with it. So we just kind of set it aside, put it along the road. I'll get back to it one day. And yet, we will complain about everything. I don't like what's going on in Washington, D.C. This COVID crap is just, I'm tired of it. Blah, 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 blah. Well, what are you doing about it? Oh, wait. You're holding the smartphone and you're documenting it. And what are you going to do with it? You're going to post it on Instagram, maybe Facebook? No, that's not part of the movement. You don't need that. What you need is to be heard. Show up. The mission is to interrupt. Say that to yourself and tell me if you don't feel empowered. Show up so that you can interrupt, to make a wave, to become a movement in the way of changing how it is that we're living. How about that leader in Ukraine? My God, that man shows up every day because he wants to interrupt what's invaded his life. What a great leader. I would love to sit down and just have a conversation with him and to ask one thing. Where did you find all of this energy? You're an actor in a leadership role. Has it always been there? Has your voice always been a writer inside? And whatever stage that you stand on becomes your strength. Because you didn't just show up to take pictures on your phone. You showed up to interrupt. And that's what we need to do. The price of food, the price of gasoline. You know what's going on in the world. Show up and interrupt. I'm Arroe, and that's Stream Thinking.